So we get to the last finger, the pinky finger. And so just to review, we were just discussing, because I felt like I gave a ton of mudras to this point, and we were doing all these things with our fingers, and I was making all these references. And now as you get to know your hands more and see how they really do speak to us and help heal us, play a big part in us, in our well-being, and our connection with others, and just everything that has to do with life, I wanted to take it a step deeper so you can correlate and see how the elements are part of the fingers and how we are all things. And then after this last video, you'll be able to see again, okay, we're going to do this one, and then we're connecting all the elements, or, you'll learn more mudras, and then you'll be able to think about them differently. And you can also, because of the power of YouTube, rewatch any of the mudras and then be like, oh, that's why I have energy when I do this one, or that's why this one's manifesting. It's connecting this element, this element, this element would correlate with this, this, and this. So for those of you specifically who aren't very spiritual, or you choose the logical side over the spiritual side first, it will start to logically make sense a little bit more, hopefully. And so we're on to our last finger, which is our pinky finger, our little finger, and it's connected to water, the water element. And so the water element has to do with, think about what water teaches us. It teaches us flow. It teaches us, it represents emotion. And those are its two main characteristics, essentially, really. It teaches us to cleanse, to become renewed. And so the pinky is the smallest of the fingers, but I think that it's really important to think about, because emotions are truly, they're important. They are important for sure. But if we look at what the fingers teach us, the pinky, the emotions, the pinky doesn't stand out as much as the middle finger does, which is reminding us to be open-minded and look upward. Where the pinky is, yes, we have emotions. We need to honor them, but don't let them drown us. And I think that that's really, really, really important, because we are, as humans, we can be very emotional, and emotions are beautiful. It's such an honor to feel good, to feel bad, but they can be super gnarly and make us sick, blind us, make us illogical, hurt other people. They can be very, very destructive when they're not in balance. So important, because there's 5 fingers and all are very equally important. However, note, just through the shape and the size of the fingers, that it's important to keep our emotions low, and so that we can really be. That's hard for emotional people to hear. I'm an emotional person. I'm a water sign. I'm a water baby. I cry very easily. I have turned to yoga as the means to the emotional component of me, to honor it, but not let it suffocate me or take over. And if I look at my pinkies, actually, my one pinky can't even stand up straight. My other one's legit. But this one, and this has been this way ever since I can remember. My mom said I must have broke it when I was little and we didn't even notice, and so it didn't grow back straight. And I'm also left-handed, so I always get, when I write, an ink smudge on the part of my finger, my pinky. And I really sit and meditate and think about this, and sometimes, yes, my emotions are crooked. And sometimes, yes, I do allow my emotions to smear things and then hang around longer than they need to. And so just by studying your fingers and your hands, what can you learn about yourself? And then what can this knowledge teach you in creating elemental balance within your mind and your body and your soul? And so from here on now, as we go into more mudras, because there's so many of them, and we start to connect with different fingers, I'm going to reference, yes, we're touching the emotional finger right now with the fire finger to bring balance in here, so that we can be inspired by our emotions and not drown in them, right? something to think about. Those are our 5 fingers. Next video we'll be back with another mudra. And then we'll kind of just build on the knowledge that you've just created. And I also want to leave this video series about the 5 fingers with this idea that this was one person's or one school of thought, the Indian school of thought, that has correlated with this. Although it correlates with Chinese school of thought and many other elements. There's also planetary connections to each of the fingers and words that connect to each of the fingers. Look them up. You can just Google search. We're so lucky to have the Google. What do the fingers mean? And you're going to see different schools of thoughts and beliefs from people. This means willpower. This means love. This means that for it. But this was the elemental one is pretty universal. Has been studied, supported, and proven. And so I wanted to share that one with you. But then also maybe come back to our mudra of intuition, where we use the index finger or the pinky, and the thumb, and press into one another, and then we remember that we have all the wisdom and the knowledge. So what do each of your fingers represent to you?